On November the 2nd, BBC Television celebrates the 50th anniversary of its regular television service. But it was in October 1936 that test transmissions for the first station of its kind in the world began.
Good evening. A few of you lookers may remember earlier experiments transmitting moving pictures by wireless on the medium wave band. These signals produced only 30 vertical lines of tiny, fuzzy pictures. Well, those days are over because the superb images you're seeing now are transmitted on VHF. That's very high frequency. However, the engineers have found that there are two systems, the Baird mechanical using 240 lines and a Marconi EMI 405 line electronic system. These are to be transmitted in alternate weeks. Tonight's transmission is in 405 lines.
The vision and sound are on. The station goes on the air.
Well, after a battle between the two incompatible systems, the standard with 405 lines across the screen won. And of course, the rest is history. By the 60s, we were transmitting on ultra-high frequency, allowing for 625 lines and colour. So what will the next 50 years bring? 3D and hologram television. Now, holograms could mean that we'll have presenters in our living room. This is just a model. I think it's probably all quite a long way away. But the competition is now on for greatly improved images on our screen. And those screens are about to explode with dozens of new channels. Channels which will reach us either by cable or by satellite. Now, while the cabling of Britain is proceeding only very slowly, the first of the European high-powered direct broadcast satellites is due to be launched next year, the Ariane rocket permitting. Now remember, they're intended to transmit direct to your home. And because the DBS satellites transmit a far more powerful television signal than existing satellites, the receiving dishes can become smaller and cheaper. For example, a 60-centimetre one like that should certainly be enough. Even this 30-centimetre dish has already proved to be effective in very recent simulated trials. Each European country has been allocated 5 of the new channels in space, and many of them will be in English.
And those satellites give us the opportunity for an even better picture because they transmit on SHF, super high frequency. And already the EEC has agreed on a new television standard for those satellites called MAC. You see, on the present system, the picture is transmitted in 2 parts simultaneously. There's the black and white signal, and of course that's all that's picked up by the black and white sets. And at the same time, the color signal is superimposed to color in that picture. But the system does have its drawbacks. One you might have seen before. And that is that certain black and white lines like this happen to appear to the colour set to look very like the colour signal it's looking for, and it creates spurious colours, which you can see now. But a lot of the problems are solved on this new MAC system because the colour information here and the black and white information is sent quite separately, one after the other. But in order to view this picture, you'll need not just a dish, but a special adapter for your set, so that those 2 pictures can be put together. And if you've ever felt you're missing something off the edge of the screen, the engineers are working on using some of the extra room available on the new frequencies for a wider picture, which we might get in the 1990s. Those diehards amongst you who want to stay with your ordinary sets, you'll still be able to see some of the picture there.
Fine for movies, but if you want cinema quality pictures in your own home, you need more lines for a better picture, and that means high definition television. Now, the Europeans are already collaborating on a project to get more lines on MAC, but the trouble is that the Japanese have already got a quite different high-definition system. That's got 1,125 lines. Now, as you can see, the pictures on there are quite superb, ideal for those huge flat panels that we're all supposed to be having in our living rooms in the 21st century. Now, at the moment, there is a problem in transmitting pictures of that quality by satellite, but even if that problem is solved, we still have another problem of going into the 21st century with 2 completely different systems, just as we did when British television started back in 1936.